Good morning, Dave Johnston here with Day Trade the Markets. You can see over here in the bottom left, my time is it's roughly 4:30 in the morning a.m. On Monday, September the 25th, and I'm on Pacific time, so about 7:30 in the morning Eastern. So looking at the 3-minute chart of the crude, I just got filled just a moment ago on this dip, and the reason I put the limit order in here, obviously we just had a really nice leg higher here, and it formed this high velocity move right here, and a nice big blue bar being the most aggressive buying bar that we've got. So the market overnight had been kind of stagnant, kind of went sideways. Then it dipped down, had a couple of magenta bars here, no real follow through to speak of, and then it started to trade above it and attracted the buying, and we still got the buyer control. So I put my buy limit in just one tick above the high of this high velocity move. So I put my stop in here for an 8-tick risk. And then I've got another buy limit in down towards the low of this high velocity move, should it actually get down into that area. So that's really what's going on here. When you get a good spike like this, sometimes that'll be all it does, but other times that can be the start of something good, or the start of a nice move. So gone ahead and gotten long one tick above the high of this high velocity move with the expectation of follow through up. So now that it did come down and dip and fill me at 90, I'm going to go ahead and put that protective sell stop in. I'm going to put it in at 88, just 2 ticks below there. Obviously, I want to see the market go up. I'm just going to stretch this out a little bit more so we can see a little bit more detail what's actually going on right now. So that's really it for the time being. So I'm going to go ahead and pause the recording, and we'll just keep monitoring it and see how we do. And I'll pause the recording now. Okay, I've just restarted the recording. It is continuing to move up, so we're likely going to get a paint bar here, some level of aggression. And you can see the low of this current. By the way, I've also put a sell limit at 51.05 for a 15-tick profit per contract for the first two, just because they're long 4 here. So the low of this current bar is at 94. I'm going to go ahead and raise the stop up here up to 92, and I'm going to cancel this other buy limit. So anyway, okay, we did get a nice blue bar. So yeah, the low of that's 94. So I think 92 is a good stop for now. And we just got another tick to go, and hopefully we'll get that and reach our first objective. So I just wanted to bring you up to date on that. I'll pause the recording and pick it up again when needed. Okay, just restart it again a moment later, just a few seconds later. I'd put a marker in here for our fill at 51.05. So I need to change the stop quantity now down to 2, because we started with 4, we sold 2, so we got 2 left. And we're just going to run we'll just do protective sell stops on this long trade, the second half of it. And I'll go ahead and just put a marker in here so we know where everything is. So here's our stop down here, and we'll just put another marker in here so we know where our entry was right here when it dipped. I usually try and get the recording started ahead of time, but I just put that order in, and I thought, well, I don't know, should I maybe go ahead and look at some other markets? I've been looking at the NASDAQ and so forth, and came back, and sure enough, we got filled, and then fired up the video. So anyway, that's how it is, and once again, I'll go ahead and pause the recording. Okay, just resuming the recording here. It's continuing to move up. We didn't get a paint bar, though, on this last one. We did on the previous bar, as you can see right here. And the low of that bar is at 51.02. So I'm going to raise the stop up to 5100 even. We're long from 50.90, and I'll just move the marker up there. So we've got our stop a couple of ticks below the low of this most recent aggressive buying bar. Even though it's a light green, which is the weakest of the 3 aggressive bars we have, it's still an aggression bar. So using that to determine where to place the stop adjustment. So you can see the time here, only been in the trade 10, well, we actually got filled in down here about 12 minutes ago. So I'll pause the recording and pick it up when needed. Okay, just restarting the recording again. You can see that we've actually formed another high velocity move. So I'm going to go ahead and buy in another two contracts just a tick above there at 10. Let's see if we can get filled another two at 10. There we go. Buy them at 2 at 10. Good. And I'll change this stop here back to 4. Okay, there we go. So yeah, try and get filled on that. And I'll put another marker in here so we know what we're trying to do here. That'll change our average price, but that's okay. So yeah, we'll see what we get out of that, and I'll once again pause the recording. Okay, just restarted the recording. We just got filled just a moment ago here, and for the other two contracts, so you can see our new average price has jumped up here. We were originally long from 90, and now our average price is now at 97. So I'll just put another marker there. And then what I'm also going to do, our current high of the day is up here at 19. So I'm going to go ahead and put in a sell limit up in here. I'm going to go for 25 for the time being and try and sell half of this for another 15. Might be stretching at the moment, but let's give that a run. I think we need to have another sort of rally up here before it's done, at least one more. So we'll put that at 15 up in here. At 51.25 for 15 tick profit. Sorry, that's 15 tick profit from this current entry. Our average price is now 97, so we'll just leave it like that for the time being, and I'll pause the recording. Okay, restarting the recording again. It's now a little after 5 o'clock, so we've been in this trade for a little over half an hour. It is moving back up, as you can see. It's just challenging now the highs of the day. So once again, the top of our high velocity move worked very nicely. This is where our second long fill was for those other two contracts. So I'm going to go ahead now, and that market actually dipped to 09. So I'm going to increase the stop here and put it at 7. Okay, and our average price now is at 59 or 50.97. So hopefully we get a little bit more of a bounce here and hit our next objective at 51.25. So I'm just going to make another one of these markers here. We're going to put that up so we got that in place. So everything's looking good, and I'll go ahead and pause the recording. Okay, just restarted again. We just got filled at 51.25 for 2 of the 4 contracts. So you can see here now we're down to just having 2 contracts. So the first thing I need to do is move this down to just 2 contracts, because we just got 2 left now, back to having just 2. And I'll squeeze this in a little bit so we can see it. Got the stop, and now this bar that we've got going on right here is, yeah, it's okay, it just came into a blue bar. So the low here is at 14. So I'm going to raise the stop to 12, so just a couple of ticks below that. And want to also go ahead and mark in, I can move this right over to here, 12, and that's our stop. And we're average long here from 97. So that last exit was at 25. So we were long these the second 4 contracts, which is actually the 3rd through 6th contracts from 97. So that was a nice 28-point gain on 2 contracts there, and we had another 15-point gain on the first 2 contracts. So things are looking good. We're just, as I said earlier, we're just going to keep managing this trade with a stop, sell stop. So and our sell stop is placed right here at 51.12 right now. So we're good to go. Market's looking great. So once again, go ahead and pause recording. Okay, just restarting the recording again. We've had a 3rd high velocity move here, and the high of this one is at 26. So I'm going to put another order in to buy another 2 at 27. So we'll go ahead and we'll place that order here, and we still have our stop right there at 51.12, and I'm actually going to 27 to 12. I'm going to raise this protective sell stop. That dip was right there at 25. I'm going to bring it down about 18. So I'll put the sell stop in there for 18, at 18 for 4, because if it does dip down and get us filled at these 2, then we'll be long 4. And of course, right now we're only long 2 at this point. So, and I should also go ahead and give us another marker here so we know what we're doing there, trying to get filled long here at 27. Okay, once again, I'll pause recording and pick it up as the market dictates. Okay, just restarting the recording. We just got filled here for the 2 contracts at 27. So that has increased our entry price here, average entry price, once again. And I'll put the marker in here for that one. So it's at 5104 is our average entry price on these last 4, on these current 4 contracts. Who knows what's going to be the last 4, but keep marching up here and utilizing the high velocity moves and so forth. So it continues to look good. So we've got everything in place. Actually, we don't, do we? I need to put a sell limit in here. And in this case, we're at average price is at 5104. If I go up 15 from the 26 here, which is what our last fill was, that would take it to what, 41. So I'm going to go ahead and put an order in here to try and sell 2 at 41. So we've got our sell limit in and our protective stop here and our long position from here. So that looks good. I'll pause it and we'll pick it up as the market dictates. Okay, just restarting the recording again. It did bounce from our entry here. It formed a blue bar. And last time, if you recall, I adjusted the stop to just below that dip once the market went up and got near the high of the day. Well, we haven't got near the high of the day, but we do have an aggressive blue bar, so I really don't want the low of that taken out. So you can see here that that market dipped down to about 27. So I'm going to raise that stop up to, I think, in this case, to 24. Yeah, I'll just move that here so we know where that risk is at 24. Okay, so that's really all I wanted to do there. We do have our limit in up there at 41. And this is actually the 3rd time we've gone back in with 4 contracts. So once again, I'll go ahead and pause the recording. Okay, starting the recording back up again. Okay, so this time we didn't get that next leg higher, so I'm going to go ahead and cancel this. It's now 5:30. Been in the trade about an hour, so I'm going to cancel that. You can see we just got stopped here. So it was an interesting trade because we actually had 3 trades in that case, because we had the first one here where we got long just up above the first high velocity move, got long another 2 to bring us back to net 4 long here, and another 2 to be net 4 long here. So all in all, worked out great, because our first objective here was hit for 2 contracts at plus 15. Then our second objective here was hit for 2 contracts, and that's when we were long with an average break from down here at 97. So we actually got 28 ticks on those 2 contracts each. And then the last one here, when we got long here, just above this 3rd high velocity move, our average net long for the 4 contracts was down here at 5104, and then we ended up getting stopped out right here at 24. So that was 20 ticks on the final 2 contracts there. So we ended up with a total of 30 on the first 2 contracts, so 15 each there, 28 each on the next 2 in here. From the net long here up to here, so that really worked out nicely from 97 to 25. So that's what, a total of 56. And then the last 4 contracts here, we ended up by getting stopped because we didn't get another lift, so couldn't exit 2 of them. We ended up by exiting 4 of them at 20 ticks each. So it worked out to be a really great trade. You know, when you take a look at it, I got it calculated out here at 1960 profit, so worked out really nicely. And that's just, you know, So it took about an hour to make that trade. And what I really like about the software, of course, is that, oh, there was one other thing I just wanted to draw your attention to, which really kind of helped me out on this trade. And if I can just bring in these profiles here for a moment, we can take a look at that. Here are the market profiles, and I just want to show you a quick thing here on these guys. You can see here that, well, from back here on the 14th, if I just go back a little bit, we've actually had, and this is all of last week, we actually had all last week, which was really a consolidation period. Certainly the last 3 days, so you take a look here, and if we take a look at how the market overlapped itself here, 3 days of overlapping values here. We had a couple of days of overlapping values here as well on the Monday and Tuesday. And then the previous 3 days also, I'm sorry, the previous 2 days before that, so it was a total of what, 5 and 2, 7 trading days. And that's these two right in here. So we actually had a lot of consolidation going along, a lot of horizontal development. And so the break that we had today, we don't have the profiles yet because the regular trading hours haven't started, but we knew that there was a potential good vertical move because of that, which also led me to believe that want to go ahead and try and get in on something, sorry, that moves above, especially this area in here around 5080 and certainly around 5100. And so when we got into this trade here, this first one was at 5090. So it was certainly breaking above the current overlapping 3 days value, and then obviously the next two were definitely above it. So it gave us a good box kind of formation of which to expect a fairly powerful vertical move one way or the other. And of course we got it to the upside here, so it gave us some good market logic behind that trade. And of course the software gave us a really good means by which to actually identify the trades themselves, the entries, because of these high velocity moves that we had on the way up. The likelihood that when you get follow through from them, you're going to have another leg. Of course, it doesn't always happen. It did not happen this time, but once that blue bar came in, we adjusted the stop, and we're still able to, even if you're getting long up in here, you would have gotten long at 28 and been out around 24. So, not much of a risk on that one. So this is a really good example, this trade of getting on board a vertical move based on the previous several days, in this case the previous week or so, and then being able to trade in that vertical fashion, or be able to trade with the vertical auction as a result. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, you can reach us at info@daytradethemarkets. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.